Well, hey guys, we are back at it. Dr. Michael Brown released a statement. I mean, the timing couldn't have been better, right? I was sitting on the sidelines for a long time waiting to drop my video and my 2 cents, and then within 24 hours of me dropping my video, he put out his official statement. So don't know if that's the Lord or what, but hey, timing worked out good. Got some things to cover. So the statement's not that long. It's only 5 minutes. We're going to watch it. I'm going to break it down, but there's a lot of things that aren't being said in the statement, which is why I wanted to go over it. I really wouldn't say anything about it. If I thought it was just a decent statement, I would just say, hey, release a statement. But the fact that there's a lot being said that's not being said, I guess at the same time, really kind of made me mad. My wife and I watched it together last night, and we were just like shaking our fists while watching it. But I don't want to be that way, but also there's a frustration here with everything going on. So let's just jump into it. I don't want to tease you with it, and then we can we'll break it down piece by piece. Don't need copyright strikes from good old Doc. So we'll kind of break it up in sections and see how it goes. So let's roll into it. All right, so here's the video. We're going to just play it straight. I'm going to give my 2 cents and pause it here and there just for the sake of copyright. So it feels like if I'm interjecting, I just don't want to get a copyright strike. It's a real thing. I've gotten it before, as we know. So let's go ahead and just listen to it. It's only 5 minutes long, and go through it.
Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. This is the first time I'm coming your way to share my heart since December 17th of last year, 2024. So it's been...
Which I thought, and I come around, he's been putting out videos. So I guess, I don't know if the videos were pre-recorded or if they were additional videos that he was just ignoring, but I thought he was putting out videos this whole time. And he's turned off his comments. If you look at the videos, he has no comments turned on, which is another frustrating thing. But I thought maybe he turned his comments back on. Comments are still off. So that'd be interesting to see when he turns that back on, because that means he'll basically have confidence in his public opinion on himself, which right now, with the comments being off, he obviously doesn't have much confidence in the public opinion on him.
In a long time. I want to start by thanking all of you for your love, your prayer, your support for Nancy and me. It has meant the world to us. This has been the most difficult season that we have ever lived through.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's been a challenging time for many of you as well.
I mean, just to have some empathy. It's not going to be easy going through something like this, right? Having the whole world put you under a microscope and judge. So I don't doubt that. I mean, I couldn't go through that. It'd be hard.
So thank you for your support, your love, your prayer. It has meant so much to us. This time away from ministry has been very painful and difficult, but I have encountered God through it. I've encountered him in ways I never have before. There's a lot.
I don't like that. I'm just going to be honest with you. So he's considered himself taking a break from ministry. He's considered himself stepping down for a while. So which can only mean one thing, right? He said this time away from ministry, which means he's back. Spoiler alert. So maybe it's just, I have a biased opinion, obviously. I get so frustrated when charismatic leaders do this, when it's like, oh, I took a break, or I went away and during that time, I just encountered God in such a way, or like God was really speaking to me during that time, or I had a really powerful encounter with the Lord during that time. And I don't doubt that you could, when you reflect and you take time away, that can happen. It's just frustrating when it's used as like as a validation tool, or as something that's like, well, I did this break and God touched me, so we must be better, right? It's like, I've heard that too many times. I've been around the block too many times with charismatic leaders where that's what happens. So I don't buy, I don't doubt that maybe he had some wonderful time reflecting with the Lord and reading scripture and all that, but I'm not taking that as a stamp of approval from God, is what I'm saying. And oftentimes that's how this is presented. It's like, I took a break and I just encountered God and God encountered me, and whatever that means. And they use that as like a stamp of approval that now they're good to come back. And I just don't buy it. I don't accept it. I don't doubt that you could have those moments, but I don't see those moments as a validation of where you're at now.
To share with you, but now is not the time. There'll be a time to share all this with you, but not right now. I know that as I'm speaking to you, some of you are thrilled to see me back online, and others, you'd rather never see my face again.
So that comes back to the court of public opinion, probably why comments are still off.
So I want to make it clear, I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to prove a point. I'm not here to chase down this rumor or refute this allegation. I'm not going to be putting up screenshots and video clips and getting into some kind of internet war. I don't believe that's God honoring. It's not.
Now, this is something he does. If you ever watch any of his online debates, he does this every time. He starts off the debate with like some sort of level set where it's like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to do this, or I don't want to nitpick, or I don't want to go over this. And he'll kind of lay this groundwork where it almost pits you to not argue with him. And I've seen this a couple times. I think it was Corey, I forget his last name, over at Smart Christian. He did that with one of his debates. He did it when he sat down with Justin Peters and Jim Osman. He kind of lays this like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to do this. And it's almost his way of like not having to bring stuff up. Honestly, he probably doesn't want to do it because it's just overwhelming evidence. And what he does later in this video, the way he's framing stuff, and that's there's a lot of framework going on here. So again, I'll have the whole video. You can watch it. I don't want to feel like I'm framing his framework, but also copyright strikes. But yeah, you can watch the whole video for yourself.
What I'm going to do, my desire is to lower the temperatures, not raise them.
Yep.
And what I want to do is just tell you the process we've gone through over these months.
So this process here, this is where things get a little hairy. It's not consistent really with what there's one little part that's walked over. So yeah, I'll point it out.
Accusations came to our ministry last fall. My board said to me, Mike, it's the better part of wisdom. It's the right thing to do a third-party investigation. And I said, let's do it immediately. I've shared the truth with you. I want everything to come to light. I'll take
in credit where credit's due. He did do that right away, and there was a response, and he did stop doing stuff for a little bit right away, which is good.
Allowed you to take your test. I'll give you a cell phone, the laptop, everything. And the board said, okay, I need to recuse myself so they could have the freedom to make all the necessary decisions in this situation. That's exactly what they've done. And then they said it's this proper protocol during the investigation that you step away from public ministry. And that's why I've been away.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, like, hats off to him for following through with that stuff. Hats off to his board. That was smart.
All these months. So immediately, the board hired a law firm, a leading law firm in the state of Arizona. And the gentleman who was going to conduct the investigation was the former assistant attorney general of the state. And one of my board members said, Mike, they are going to get the labels on your underwear. I said, please, let's bring everything to light. Those bringing the accusations were not happy with that organization, with that firm. They said, no, we won't work with them.
So the people who were the victims, they wanted to pick the organization, which is very normal. That's not out of the ordinary to have the victims want to pick out the organization. That's pretty simple, straightforward. They agreed to that, and they agreed to the terms that the organizational set, which is going to be the Firefly report. They agreed to all of that. This is where things get a little hairy.
Them, and they insisted on our board finding a firm that would be more friendly to their perspective. So it took some time. Our board finally got an organization that was acceptable to them. And this was the first part of a twofold process.
Right.
First, the investigation. Then the results of that investigation were turned over to an independent team of elders. This was the process I was asked to submit to, and I said,
and this is the elder board report that we got. So we have, essentially, I'm going to break it down for you. This is the Firefly report, right? So we have the Firefly report was the first part where they actually did the investigation. They had the terms. They said what was happened. They took all the testimonies. They laid out what the standard for sexual harassment or sexual abuse. They laid out all these things. That was the Firefly report. And then the way he's framing this is the second part of the process was in my independent elder board, which was very biased towards Brown. These are people that Brown has ministered with, has ran with, same ministry circles, same conference circles. So then that board was then going to review the report and just make a decision. So that's where we're at now, and this is what Brown's going to tell us. So a little bit more to come in there when we go over that.
Yes, let's do it. The investigation was turned over to an independent team of elders. They looked at the results of the investigation, they evaluated me, and then they rendered their verdict. And on April 28th, they released me to resume ministry effective immediately. And that's why I'm here now speaking to you today.
All right, so this is the part that's very frustrating. So if you wonder why this is why, honestly, that line right there is why this video is being made. So it's easy to submit yourself to a third-party investigation when the way you interpret the results is going to be interpreted by a board of elders who's very biased toward yourself, right? It's like I can't even think of a decent parallel, I guess. I don't know, like asking the kids what they want for dinner, and they say, "Oh, we want chicken nuggets," but then at the end of the day, you're gonna go to your wife. Wife says, "Yeah, we'll have chicken, but it's gonna be chicken Caesar salad." The kids are like, "No, you said we could pick," right? That's exactly what this is like. You know, we're going to let you take care of it, but in the end, it's going to be our decision. And that's what happened, right? So, and in the report, the elder board report, they said they do not agree with the definitions that were given for sexual harassment in Firefly report. So basically they said, well, they found this stuff and they labeled it. They gathered testimony, gathered evidence. We're not denying that those things happened. We're just denying their definitions. So based on that, that's how they just gave a thumbs up. So they just redefine things and then they say it's okay. Not okay. Not okay. Also because just from the comments, one of my videos, I guess they were saying that the terms were agreed upon. I guess part of what Firefly does before they do investigations is they lay out ahead of time, which is smart. They lay out ahead of time how they're going to define things. And then the people being investigated agree on those terms. So I guess that happened. I can't find anything specific sharing that, but let's say that did happen and that he did agree on the terms and then they changed the terms afterwards. That's terrible. Even if they didn't, they agreed to Firefly's reporting and Firefly's investigation, and then they changed terms afterwards. So even if they didn't agree to the exact definition, they still basically said, we're going to agree to your findings, and then they changed definition. So that's how we're here. Basically, Brown saying, hey, like, I'm back to ministry because my elder board said it's okay. Firefly didn't, right? Firefly did not say it's okay, which is why the third party, the victims wanted to use that one. That's the whole point of using them, was because they wanted someone who wasn't biased, who was going to be more favorable towards their position, and wasn't just going to give the thumbs up and okay, Dr. Brown. But that's where we're at. That's what happened. They did. So Brown thinks he's good. Brown says, I'm good. I had a board of elders that know me, have spoken with me and done ministry with me, and they want me to go back. So that's why Brown thinks he's okay to go back to ministry.
I mentioned at the outset of the video that the last time I spoke with you here on YouTube was December 17th of last year. And that was when I posted my public apology video. And I said it with all sincerity of heart. I said it with much brokenness. I hope you heard that in my words, but I want to reiterate again that I meant every word from my heart. It grieves me that I was a source of pain, confusion to any of you. And once again, I say I'm so sorry for any pain or confusion that I brought you.
Which is great. Like, no one... It's so frustrating. That's good, man. Good job. Like, I'm glad you did that. It's like, I keep going back to my kids because I'm a dad. But it's like if one of my daughters hit someone, like hit one of their sisters, or like even a better example, like I had one of my daughters, like we had this happen. She smacked someone up, one of her sisters. You know, she can apologize. She can be sincere about it. And I don't doubt her sincerity at all. I don't doubt that she's genuinely sad that she did that. Like, I don't doubt any of that. End of the day, I still need to execute some sort of punishment for her to understand that it was bad, right? I don't spank my kids, but like, I definitely still do a timeout, remove some sort of privilege. Something has to happen to understand the severity of what you did. That's just, common sense. And this is where Brown's at. Brown's like, I said sorry. Sorry, that's all I could picture, right? Like, he said sorry, and then he just wants to go right back to playing. It's like, no, you're not going to go back to playing. you hurt someone. We need you to sit on this for a little bit and back off. And that's not what's happening. It's just, I said sorry. My friend said it's okay. So I'm going to go back to playing. And it's frustrating. That's the process we're going through here.
I am very much aware of the fact that in the body now, there's kind of like a mini civil war over me. Some of you are really for me. Some of you are really against me. I want to make an appeal to you. Please don't divide over me. Unite around Jesus instead. Please don't lose friendships, relationships, ministry partnerships over me. We know that Jesus said every kingdom, every house, every family divided against itself will fall. So I appeal to you.
I don't like that he did that. He's basically using the scripture of divided. So don't be divided over me. You can't do that. So you'll have to agree that I'm okay. It's all good. You have to agree. Scripture says it can't be divided. If Brown was sincere, in my opinion, on his concern of people dividing over him, he would step down. If he was really worried about division in the church, if he was worried about division in the body, if he's worried about people arguing over him and this being a back and forth thing, if he really was concerned about that verse, about the church being divided, if that was a conviction he had, then the common sense thing to do would be to step down. Step off of Mercy Culture's apostolic elder board. No longer consider yourself an elder. Demonstrate that. Make it clear. You're very good at exegete the scripture. You're a very smart man. You're a very smart man. Do that. That would be the best way for Brown to show that he cares about the unity of the church. But to then just jump back into ministry, put more videos, post another book, turn off the comments. There's division over you, and you know why. And the independent investigation showed that there was abuse. So, and not to mention, there's a whole nother thing with the Nigerian kids. Oh my gosh. And the adoption agency over there. Oh my God. That's a whole nother world that I'm again, I want a bit more to clear up before I even go on that. But Brown just needs to understand that if he's really concerned about people divided, he just needs to step down. Just needs to step down. Call it a day.
Unite around Jesus. Don't divide over me. I believe that's pleasing to the Lord. So once more, Nancy and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your love and prayer, encouragement, support during this difficult and painful season. It has been, your love and prayer has been a lifeline to us. I can't state that strongly enough. Thank you once more. And to everyone, I really look forward to ministering to you in the days ahead. Thanks again for watching.
Okay, so we can conclude that Brown does plan to go back into ministry. He says, I look forward to ministering to you again. Brown tends to jump full steam ahead, keep moving forward. There's no, the break is over, so we can expect more content from Brown. I wonder how much collaboration is going to be. I'm interested to see how Remnant handles this, what Remnant says. I know Michael Miller has, he's been really speaking about church abuse and being advocates for that. So interested to see Miller's take. I think this is a terrible move on Brown's end. Stuff comes out. You have an independent report from the third party, and then your board of elders says it's okay. It's just a bad look. Reality is, things did happen. There was no arguing that, but you're still just jumping into ministry. So I think this is bad. It's just a bad idea all around. Let me know what you think. A couple of things I want to go over real quick. Let's just talk real quick about what's coming up. So just going over what we have coming up, so you guys know what's coming down the pipeline here. A couple cool things. We got a couple more interviews going on. One of which I'm very excited about, with a figure and a person that I have a lot of respect for and history with in a way, but I've never actually, this is my first time really actually talking to him. So I'm excited about that. I also have, I'm going to be doing a bit of more videos on my background, about where I'm at now, where I stand theologically. If you guys want to hear about that, that'd be great. And we're going to be doing some more homestead updates. So just really know what's going on. I'm trying to keep a consistent feed of the interviews and then peppering stuff here and there, right? As we all know, I have the worst track record of consistency. So try to find ways to mitigate that. And I find if I have like a consistent base with like the interviews, that could be my steady flow. And then I could pepper in, fun things here and there. So, all right, guys, as always, I appreciate your support. Appreciate your time. I don't know. Let me know what you guys want. Let me know what I can do to help you. That's my goal of this channel, is just to be helpful, to provide good perspective, and to be a blessing to the body. So let me know how I can do that. That's all I'm trying to do. So, all right, guys, thanks as always. Appreciate your time. Have a great day, and be blessed.